Hi guys, welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. So, I don't know if you know, but I'm kind of a fan of work that's been done by Nancy Fraley. And if you don't know who she is in the bourbon world, welcome to bourbon. Nancy Fraley's great at making it. And she's a blender, a master blender. And a few nights ago, I was messaging with her on Instagram, and I asked her what other projects she was involved in. And one of them that she mentioned was Wyoming whiskey. And I asked her which one should I try first. And she told me to try the Outryder. So I happened to be in Total Wine this morning, and lo and behold, they had this specific bottle on the shelf. So, of course, I grabbed it. Now, this will be my first that I can think of. I think I may have had a sample of Wyoming whiskey before, but I can't remember which expression. So, does it even count? No. This will be my first bottle of Wyoming whiskey, and something that she mentioned to me in recommending this is that this is a Borai, and so that piqued my interest because, as you may or may not know, I like Borais. So this is a bottled and bond, so 100 proof American, straight American whiskey, and it's a blend of two different mash bills. The first mash bill, I put a little sticker on the side of my bottle so I could read it to you. The first mash bill is 48% rye, 40% corn, 12% malted barley, and the second mash bill is 68% corn, 20% rye, and 12% malted barley. So neither of these is technically a rye. They're both relatively high rye mash bills, but one is an extremely high rye mash bill at 48%. Now, to be legally a rye, it has to be 51%. So this is just a little bit under legal rye. So technically, the first mash bill is a Borai of its own. But the second is also high rye bourbon, but not that high. So they blended these two together, and she uses a very special technique when proofing down whiskeys that maybe I'll get into in a different video and try to explain as best as I understand it. But so I'm super excited to try this. It's been sitting here for a few minutes while I was on the phone, and the nose is just stupid good. It's like someone made French toast out of rye bread. Why would you do that? I don't know why anyone would do that, but that's what this smells like. And honestly, I've never considered making French toast out of rye bread until smelling the nose on this. Now I'm strongly considering it. There's also almost, it's almost a cream corn note on the nose. Lots of vanilla, lots of caramel. I almost get a hint of toffee on the nose as well. There's also almost, it's more a feel than an actual smell of like halfway chewed bubblegum. Now that doesn't sound good when I say it out loud, but it's like the feel of the maybe I'm autistic, I don't know. It's like the feel of the taste of halfway through a piece of bubblegum. That might sound terrible. That might be the worst tasting note I've ever given in my life, but it's there. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's good, interesting. The rye is very mild, very light, very easy. It's not prickly. It's not coming across as spiky or spicy. It's just there and voluptuous. And there's another candy note. It's like an amalgamation of different candy notes really tight together in my mind. Let's taste it. Oh, 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 oh. Burnt brown sugar. The rye spice went to the roof of my mouth. I don't think I've ever felt rye spice on the roof of my mouth before. Very back corners of the tongue and the roof of my mouth. That doesn't even make sense. You don't have taste buds there, but that's where I felt it. Oh, the nose gets sweeter after tasting it. That note that I'm calling that fruity bubblegum, like not when you first take it when it's super full of flavor, but like muted, like a muted bubblegum note. Maybe that's a better way of saying it than half chewed, because that was gross. But anyway, the rye starts to show on the nose. A little bit of oak starts to show through on the nose. The toffee really shows up after having tasted it. Oh, a hint of a dark tea note on the finish. Or not on the finish, but on the second half of the tasting is right on the front of the tongue. The finish is nice and long, very viscous, very coating, mouth-watering. Oh, a little bit of grain shows through. Get like the kind of grain dust feel in your mouth. That is an all over the tongue tasting experience. There's stuff happening on the front of your tongue, on the sides, and the back, and weird that I felt that on the roof of my mouth. It almost smells finished. It almost smells like there's some sort of finish happening here. It's not finished. It's bottled and bond. Just the two different mash bills blended together and then proofed down with her magic formula. But it almost gives me hints of like a white wine finish. It's very odd. Wow, I really like that. I like that a lot. That I'm gonna have to compare this to some of my other boar eyes that I have and see how this stacks up. This has got a milder rye note than some of the other boar eyes that I have. It's just very, very nice. Now, one other interesting thing I wanted to tell you guys about this whiskey is all the grains, the corn, the rye, and the barley are grown in Wyoming. And they're non-GMO, and they're grown on a specific farm. And they say the name of the farm on their website, and I didn't write down the name because I was like, I don't remember. I don't remember. But they even name the farm that this grain is grown on. So I think that's super interesting, and I like that kind of clarity and that kind of just, you know, totally telling us where everything comes from. I absolutely appreciate that, and good job, Wyoming Whiskey. Good job, Nancy. This is great. Great recommendation, too. Thank you. Until next time, guys, have a great day.